Thank you all. Welcome to the second PTA meeting of this year, General PTA meeting on October 10th. It is a very light agenda for today, but we do want to make sure we keep people informed. So I will go first. I have a few things to update everyone on. That's not a great screen to do it on, but Spiritware is one thing. Spiritware is live. It is open. The Spiritware store will be online all year long. You can go in, edit, and I think this is what people don't realize. You can go in, say you find a t-shirt you like, you can go in, find your t-shirt, pick one of the designs. There are also some that you can edit words on it. So for example, someone did order and change some stuff out, and it says something like North Springfield Swim Club. It can be done, and I will not promote it because I will not give them our dollars. We get 12%, but it can be done. Chad, for you, that means staff. If you want to do staff t-shirts or staff whatever clothing, it can be done on certain products. And I am happy to help you with that. It's by item, so you have to kind of play around with it. We, by way of natural talking to teachers, we had talked to a couple of the fourth grade teachers last year about helping design our Spiritware this year. It didn't work out because by the time we were ready to do it, they were just getting classless and trying to plan for their school year. So we went with the Holmes provider, which is fine. But we do have the ability to upload any sort of design we want. And we, out of natural discussion with the teachers, we have decided maybe we could have a little bit of a competition, have third graders and fourth graders submit designs, and maybe have one winner for each grade. Winners will be selected by a panel of combined PTA board members, or if anyone else really wants to volunteer, and teachers. I know some of us would like to, I would like to opt out of picking a third grade design just because I have a third grader. I don't even know if he wants to participate, and we can just get those designs uploaded to the Spiritware store. So it will be more of the same shirts, but with this design. So that is happening, but the Spiritware store is open all year long. Any questions on that before I move on? I have a punch list. Not very. Grants, both teacher grants. Teacher grants are open. They're open through the end of the month. I have not looked, to be honest, today because there's so many days left in the month to see what we have. On the flip side, I have also applied for, admitting full. I have also applied for a couple of grants. One was one that Ken Balbuena mentioned. There were a couple with the 495 project, and then I found another one. I am happy if anyone finds the grant and you're like, this isn't my thing, but I think it might be helpful. Please send it over to me. You can send it to NSES PTA at Gmail. If you know me, you can send it to my personal. I will be happy to look into it and apply. There's a lot of free money out there. We are all in different spaces and get different advertisements. And so I'm happy if you get something, I'm happy to take the lead on the research and application process. So not a big deal. We have a couple of those in the works. I do not know if we will get them, but hopefully so. On my list, recipe books, you should be seeing something soon. I'm hoping to finalize by this weekend a form or whatever we're sending out to request recipes from families so that we can make books to sell. So that will be forthcoming, hopefully by the end of the weekend. Ms. Metz and Ms. Pomeroy need help. So Ms. Metz needs help with her gratitude wall. She told me today she went ahead and somehow managed to hang most of everything, but I think it's an ongoing thing. So if you have 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, email Ms. Metz and ask if she needs help hanging gratitude wall notes, because I think she ended up hanging 300 today, and that's not sustainable for one person. So that art framing coming up. For those of you who don't know what art framing is, Ms. Pomeroy and Ms. Buckley do it, and it's for different grades. It's for times. It happens a couple times of year. It's for different grades at different times. So I don't know what this one is in October. I suspect it's for the lower grades, but certain artwork gets chosen and framed and hung around the school, and the parents can choose to buy it. It's not a PTA fundraiser. We buy the frames. They send us the money from what they sell, so we can buy the frames. It's one of those equal out opportunities. But it's coming up, and Miss Pomeroy could use our help. So there is a sign up genius in the newsletter. It will go out again tomorrow. So if you can, we have had 0 signups. So if you can, it can be pretty quick. I think the first time I went, it was an hour. So it's not a huge time commitment. That's art framing. Last thing I have for me, meeting topics. We've had some requests for certain things. We know we want to have, but we know there's a new Holmes middle school principal. It has been brought to our attention, sounds so formal, but someone mentioned it might be nice if we could get them to come to one of our spring meetings for our rising fifth graders. But if you have any other meeting requests, we are open to it. Someone really enjoyed the 529 presentation that was, I think, 2 years ago. So we will look at bringing that back. But if there's anything anyone has, happy to research and figure out how to make it happen. That said, Robin, you good to share the meeting minutes?
Yes. All right, let's see if I can figure out how to share my screen now. It's my first time doing it, so who knows?
You're good.
All right, you see it okay? Yeah. Oh, wonderful. It's not hard at all.
Yeah.
All right, so even though you guys are in my spot where I'm trying to, okay, there you go. All right, so we started out with Lauren welcoming everyone last year, and then she talked about the fundraising updates with the original works, the Spiritware Heritage Night, the Papa John's, the Code, and the restaurant nights. For the treasure updates, we were talking about the budget review and all of the expenses that we had. There were 3 things that we wanted to change in there that I had down there. It was the spirit wear expense that was in there, the 5th grade grant, and the movie night. The budget was approved pending changing those, which were changed. We talked about the marathon, how we're not going mathon, how we're not going to do that this year, instead we're doing the recipe books. And they moved on to membership. With the membership drive, we decided to start that this fall. And then from the enrichment, we were talking about the kids in motion, the art classes, working on pottery and eye codes for the winter. And then talk about the movie night some more. And then we went into the guest speakers, where Mr. Sammy came in, started to talk about all the different testing that's going on. When are we going to get the results of all the testing? Ms. Twitchell came in and started talking about the AAP4 and answered a bunch of questions about all that. Then we did the administration updates. We talked about all the improvements to the brick in the walkway that was done over the summer. Then he was talking about how he's going to have meetings with the trees coming up and how with the drought it might be kind of hard to do that. We're also waiting on updates for repaving. I believe that was the soccer pitch. And we're talking about the new mission statements and trying to get everyone together. And then our upcoming events, which were the movie night, which already happened, and the art framing, which is happening in about a week. Does anyone have any questions about the minutes? I know I went through pretty quickly. I can go back to anything if anyone wants me to. And excuse the crashing behind me. I think my kids stole toys. So.
Even if there are no questions, is this something? So today you guys probably got a reminder email about the PTA meeting. Do you want if you want last month's meeting minutes added as a link to that so you can review it beforehand, I'm happy to do so. I just can't wait for how this works. But yeah, just let me know. It's very easy to add to the newsletter. So if that would be helpful for people, we will do it.
Sounds good. All right. Well, if we don't have any questions, then how do we go about approving it? Do I just ask for approval of the minutes?
Yeah. Motion to
Is there a motion to approve
September minutes?
Anyone?
Oh, from iPhone. I appreciate iPhone, but I don't know who you are. So if a person can, or if iPhone. Oh, hi. Thank you, Julie.
All right.
Is there a second?
I think one of the Pullians had also approved it.
Thank you, Pulling.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing then.
All right. I might go board members a little out of order only because Kristen is now an okay. Can I boot Chrissy for you just based on the child care situation? Are you around?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm very flexible.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm next, Lauren.
Yeah. Do you want to do it now or wait?
No, now's great.
Yeah.
Just a quick reminder that the month of October is our membership drive. So if you have not joined the PTA yet, please do. The class that has the most members join this year will get an ice cream party, and second place will get a popcorn party. So there's some good competition going on. So far this year, we have 75 members that have joined the PTA. Second grade and kindergarten are tied for first, and close behind them is the 5th grade. So good competition there. And in terms of the class, Miss Brown is in the lead with 12, Miss Borelli at 10, Miss Viatoro at 10. Those are the top 3. So still lots of time left. We'll be sending out reminders on the Facebook page, and it's a really quick, easy process to join if you haven't already. Any questions? I think that's all from me.
Oh, I think I will say our dues to the PTA are not a moneymaker for us. They basically go to cover our dues that we then have to pay to the Fairfax County PTA, Virginia PTA, yeah, National PTA. So it's not like a moneymaker for us. The teachers we keep lower, uh, and we technically lose money on them, but it makes up for it with the family joining. So just food for thought if you have not joined. So thank you for whoever admitted Christy. Christy, are you ready?
Hey, yeah. Are you ready for me?
I
Okay, let me attempt to share my screen. Get this report. Can you all see this? Okay,
Yep.
there we are. Okay, good. And for people who don't know me, my name is Chrissy. I'm the PTA treasurer. I have a kindergartner, a second grader, and a fifth grader. So I will run through where we are in the budget, and my fellow board members made this very easy tonight. So as Lauren was saying, while it's not a big money maker, one of our biggest sources of income so far, it's still early in the school year, has been the PTA membership. So we have earned about $750 here. I paid $250 in dues for August and September, and we'll have more dues to pay in November. And we pay monthly dues to both the Fairfax and Virginia PTA. So right now we have a net of about $500. But as Kristen mentioned, we are in the midst of a membership drive for October, so we look forward to hopefully getting some new memberships. Moving on to income and fundraisers. So again, still early in the school year with some big events coming up. We have Original Works, we have a silent auction, and we have recipe books, as was mentioned by Lauren. Here, so far, our biggest moneymaker has been flocking with $235 made. And then I'll move down to the other category where you'll see donations. We've been very lucky here. We've made about $416. Thanks to everyone for their generosity at the Beaver Blastoff who contributed. And then we had some really generous vendors who gave us, Capital Snow gave us a portion of their earnings for that event. So thank you for that. Again, as Lauren mentioned, Spiritware, we will probably soon see some more, numbers, affiliated numbers here. And then I'll move down to events and services. Mainly the one expense you're seeing right now is for the spelling bee. We had to have a registration fee for the Scripps spelling bee, so you'll see that here. And then moving on to the fun events, a couple weeks ago, we had our first big event, which was the movie night. The expense you see here, $150, was for the popcorn. We had 2 big bags of popcorn, and we were able to provide free bags of popcorn to all those who attended. Also want to say congrats to fifth graders. They did great with their concessions, and with costs, they raised about $550. So you'll see that reflected here. And then you'll hear, or you've heard more about some other big events we have coming up, such as Heritage Night, Bingo Night, and then later on the spring, we'll have the fair. So those are some of the fun events here. And then I'll run you down to events and services. So under grants, we have some money for art framing, 55. This reflects some income that we received last year. And then the biggest one that you'll see here is for the speed stacks for Miss Metz. We had a cost of $742 there. And we look forward, as Lauren said, the grants are open through the end of the month. So we look forward to seeing some of those pitches and putting some money against some of these events here. Moving down to summer events and activities. We were lucky for back to school night and Beaver Blastoff, thanks to the generosity of the Civic Association. We didn't have a lot of costs here. They donated money for the pizzas that we were able to give out to everyone who attended. So the costs are pretty minimal for that event, $92. And then we had a kindergarten event welcoming kindergartners and their families. So there were some costs affiliated there. So that was their summer events. And then moving on to teacher appreciation, the biggest event that we've had so far was the back to school teacher breakfast. That was about $656 spent there. And then this is the not so fun part, but we have administrative expenses that for the most part we've taken care of, but those take up a lot of the expenses early in the year. So I was able to pay the insurance, $298. We have a monthly bank fee that we have to pay for. Money Minder is the program I use to pull these nice treasurer reports and such together. So we have a fee for that. And then the movie license, so we can have our movie night events. So $524 for that. We have office supplies, we have monies allocated. And then for the Zoom call, we have to pay a annual fee. So that will be reflected probably in the next PTA treasurer's report. So yeah, there are, again, most of our expenses have been administrative and things like that. So that outweighs our income. But again, we've had some great fun events already and look forward to some more. So in terms of good news, we're able to meet all of our standards of affiliation documents, and we're able to get all of our compliance documents in. So we received our 501(c) letter and sales tax exemption, demonstrating that, we're in good standing and in compliance. So I went through that quickly. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, nothing heard. Let me stop screen sharing. All right, Lauren, maybe I'll turn it back over to you.
I don't see anything in the chat, I think.
Do we have to approve the treasurer's report? Okay.
We can, just to be
I don't know. I'm learning.
Google that tomorrow.
Okay.
To approve Chrissy's report. I am sorry. I don't think you, but everyone would like it.
Well, thank you.
Is that
Scott?
I was just coming up to say the same thing.
I was like, I don't think it does, but I won't turn it down.
I felt left out. No, thank you.
Christy, Kristen, Lori, I don't know if you're on or if your phone died. She sent me a text message. She's at a baseball field at a game, and her phone was just about dead because she had to entertain the little list, which is normal. So for enrichment, we do have the art class going on now. The sports classes wouldn't get enough enrollment. The art class is going on now. I know she's working on possibly pottery. Something, pottery was the big one that I was like, oh, that's different. For winter, and something else. So she's working on that and Karen is also not on here from a fundraising perspective, but between us all, Heritage Night, we're going to work together. Chad's on the call today, but has hidden himself. But we have a group of teachers who are willing to help. So we will be working through that in the coming weeks. That's a big one for all of us. I think it will be a nice, fun event. Karen, Lori, from an enrichment perspective, movie night went really well. There was no big issues. There was there were no big issues. There was nothing crazy. We had a little bit of turmoil with setup, but we were fine. The kids were really well behaved. I was really impressed with them. We gave out 150, maybe ish, a little more bags of free popcorn, and only ran out for maybe 10 people. So that was good. For Karen, she wanted me to let you know original works is in the final stages. If you haven't heard from your kid, Miss Pomeroy has been working with them. It will be, you will get initial order forms probably early November, with final orders coming later November. So that will be coming out soon. Just making sure I'm not missing anything they want me to. Upcoming restaurant night is Panera. It is October 20th at the old Keene Mill Road location. The flyer will be sent out via the PTA email tomorrow, as well as we will send it to school. Class program. But yeah, I think unless someone else has joined that has something they want to say, the big things are really Miss Metz could use, she hasn't said she needs ongoing help, but she will for the gratitude. And 30 minutes is even a big deal for her. Art framing, we have no volunteers, so we could really use some. And the only other thing I ask of you guys is to send, your ideas for meeting advice, for meeting topics. So we know we want Holmes middle school principal probably towards the spring. Whatever else you guys want, please send it over. And with that, Chad, are you on now?
I'm here. I was just eating, so I didn't think people wanted to
You were
watch
high?
me eating dinner. Well, just to kind of go back, recap here. I was taking notes here. Lauren, yeah, let's set up a time to meet about the spirit wear for the staff. We can do that. Grants, I'm going to put a reminder in our weekly newsletter on Friday for that. And I'll do, Kristen, if you could give me a list at some point of the staff members that have joined, I'll harass the rest of them for you.
Oh, awesome.
Including you. You have to rejoin.
Didn't I? I thought I did that.
Well, I'll double check.
No,
Or Kristen will.
I thought I gave over the, when you came in for the breakfast. Anyway, all right.
I'm scanning.
I'm good for it. Yeah, the gratitude wall, I know Miss Metz was asking for help for that. It doesn't even have to be on a regular basis. Like you said, she'll take whatever she can get. Grants, recipe book. Yeah, we should probably figure out how we want to roll that out too. I did have Miss Kunkel kind of playing with some ideas too. So, but
I will contact them because I've been looking at some stuff in terms of getting responses via forms. So
I think simple is better. We had some grand ideas, but simple is probably better. Update on the trees. So I did meet with the gentleman from the Fairfax County Arbor Society, and we started out walking around in the original ask of I think I had 8 trees on there, and he's like, well, let's walk around. I think I'm up to 24 trees that I have us coming for free that they will plant, like all over the grounds, like not just around for shade, but I mean, it will enhance a lot. So I was actually pretty excited about that because they are native species. They're already larger trees. They're not going to be, small trees. They're pretty big, and they're free, which is even better yet. So we are on the list. He said it was a little dry and we kind of missed the fall planting. He actually said there was they canceled a lot of the fall plantings because we didn't get rain for a long time there early in the fall. So we're on the list for this for the spring. I'm meeting again now that we have the plan from the arborist. I'm meeting again with facilities and I'll get that mapped out and we'll time it all up, but it'll be done this spring for sure. So that's great
That's
from that
awesome. And
perspective.
keep us posted because we want to make sure the benches come in.
Yeah,
around
we want to
that
have
time.
them do it, so we'll order the benches ahead of time and that
Yeah.
piece. Let's see, teachers, what did I want to say? I had a note here. Teachers for the Heritage Night. The teachers the names that Ms. Chico shared, are those the people willing to like be point people for different parts of it? I'm pretty sure that the majority of the 20 teachers have joined so far. Okay. Pretty sure that majority of the staff will be there that night for that
I
event.
know. I noticed one name that had reached out that wasn't on that list, and I was like, okay, we're fine. So
Yeah, no, there'll be plenty of help, but those are the folks that within the equity and wellness committees said I'm willing to be the point of a part of it. So that will be good and we can get a couple meetings going for that and get that planned out.
And for those of you that are new, Heritage Night was something that school used to do before COVID. I have not been to one. My people are little, and so we're trying to bring it back while incorporating this recipe book and making it our new post-COVID normal event, for lack of a better explanation.
Yeah, and I
So if
think
you have any ideas, we are welcome to them.
Yeah, if anybody has an affiliation to like a dance group, a cultural dance group, or we're looking for presenters that could do 2 to 5 minute performances or whatnot. And so that was always kind of a highlight. It also allowed us to kind of split up traffic and that kind of thing between food, which we always did as a potluck, bring a dish that you enjoy from your, within your culture. And then we were coming up, we'll have to develop the labels for food ingredients and whatnot for that piece so that everything's labeled well. And we have to emphasize it's a sampling, not a full meal, but because dishes do roll in kind of for the first half hour, 40 minutes or so. But the people that get there early load up and then there's not much left over. So we want smaller size, like sampling plates. But we want to expand it. We're going to do some kind of writing and some cultural work with the kids prior that will be in the hallways around classrooms. So we also want to almost do like have your parents do a little museum walk down around your grade level in your classroom to read some of the things that kids wrote, whether it be around either their culture or, holiday celebrations that they may partake in and just unique things that they wanted to share. So we're going to be doing a few things with those to get kids really into it and recognizing that it's really about celebrating where everybody's has come from. So let's see, trees, got that. There was a couple things around poison ivy, and one was around the the new stairs up from Axton. And I went down and I looked, and there was a little bit, if you're walking out towards Axton, there was a little bit on the left, but you would have to literally go around the fence and the stair railings to get to it over there. There is also a little patch of poison ivy, but it's on the private person's land. as going down to Hemming. I did have the county come out and spray it, but they said they really can't do a whole lot when it's on private property, except for keeping it back off the fences and whatnot. So I did do another work order last week. I don't know if they came out and sprayed. They don't always come in and sign in, especially for outdoor work. If it's after hours, especially, but I'll probably go back and do another round of checks this week just to see if it's turning yellow or, dying. But I did put another work order in for poison ivy.
So my one question for you, Chad, if we're pushing the spring planting, what about the soccer pitch? What is the right season
Okay,
for
so the
that?
soccer pitch is that meeting that I have with the grounds. I think it's this week. I'll have to look at my calendar. It's either this week or early next week. I've lumped the soccer pitch and the getting the plans for the trees into
Okay,
that.
so it's
We're
all
going to move.
great.
We're going to move forward with the pitch. And I had originally asked him to push it back as far long as he could for the based on temperature and weather, so we could get the most out of it, because it will literally, it'll shut down the blacktop part of the playground for a week. But so I'm going to try to get that going here in November and early December before it really gets too cold, the ground temperatures, and they can't do it. But
Okay.
I'll send out plenty of heads up.
Yeah, just let us know
going in that part of it.
if we need extra monitors to come out there or something.
Oh, that might actually be a
reason.
great idea. Yeah, that
It's
would
not
be
out
a
of the
great
question.
idea. So, but outside of that, it's COGAT testing was supposed to happen this week, and we got notification actually yesterday afternoon during the workday that the vendor, something is wrong. So it has been delayed at least a week. So we're not exactly sure when we will get the test to then be able to deliver them. We're hoping that they extend it by a week, so we have a little flexibility and don't have to try to jam them into an already established schedule the week of. Second grade's going on our field trip on Friday. October 17th. We have the Commanders military band coming. They're about 30 of their 90 members. They're going to come around 9 o'clock-ish, and we're going to do an assembly out around the track for about 9:30, and they're going to play for about 40 minutes. The Holmes top band at Holmes is coming over to watch as well. And then we're also incorporating this kind of as our kickoff for Veterans Day and our Purple Heart families, military families that we have in our school. I know our students met this morning for their first military family kind of club meeting. And we're going to recognize those families and students at that time as well. And then the families and students of the military families and their students will have a little meet and greet with the soldiers afterwards. So we're kind of using that as the springboard to Veterans Day, and we're putting together our Veterans Day plans, which as a county will be celebrated on the 10th, November 10th.
Well, let us know how we can help, either advertise or help, or we can help with that. So
okay, yeah, one of the things
that day or whatever.
Jackie has been sick, and one of the things I thought about doing was maybe even just getting Anita's breakfast burritos for them after the performance. It'd be like probably 35 burritos, $90 or something. But I got to check with Jackie to see if there's a fund we can take that out of. But I'll let you know, because it's not that much money, and we can even take that out of the teacher appreciation
to help with who needs to wear with bands and whatever.
Yeah, and we didn't really advertise it too much for like all the families to come, because there's just not that much room, and we'll have what, right now with homes coming over, our kids and Purple Heart families, we're probably looking at about 600 people right now to be watching. But certainly anybody's kind of welcome to come join. But that's kind of the next 10 days in a nutshell. So
a good 10 days, fun 10 days.
that's all I got.
Just looking at my list here. Handwritten and hand knot. Does anyone have any questions? I think we've hit, I've lost my mouse, but I think we've hit everything. Seriously? I think we've hit everything on our agenda, but are there things people want to talk about? Anything?
Hey, Lauren, it looks like there's a question in the chat on any update on a new bike rack.
Oh, no, Bobby. No new update other than I did apply for a grant for them. The county does not provide them to the school. It was, I think when Chad and I looked last year, it was $1,000 for one rack, which was 7 bikes, which PTA membership at that point did not like. If that has changed. And one of the things I wanted to do last year and I want to do this year is to establish some goals for the following year. So if that's what's worth it for the next year, because we all know we operate in deficit because we have to approve our budget early on and we have some leeway in that, we can do that. I did apply for a grant specific to bikes, but I don't know when I will hear. I also applied for another grant that they needed specific steps. So I happened to apply and do it for the outside stuff. So one would say the free planting, but also the soccer pitch, the benches, all that stuff, just because I figured then we could free allocate that money that was already approved. So yeah, school and PTA does not have that money. It is out there. We applied for something. They asked for, they said, do you want 5,000? I said, if you'd give me 3, I'd be great. So we will see.
Yeah, Lauren, I was just thinking, I still have some contacts, even though there's been a lot of turnover in design and construction. I'm going to reach out to a couple of those guys. If there are current schools under renovation and they're going to pull out bike racks, I mean, let me see if I can't snag a couple maybe that are in good shape. It helps when I had coffee with those guys every day during the renovation. So I'll make a few phone calls here. You send a few emails and see what I can do.
Anyone else? And I'm sorry, my people are now being loud. I will say with that, since Bobby brought that up, grants, if you find anything, send it over. I'm happy to do the legwork on applying. That's what I've been doing. I think Ken sent me one on the 495 project, and I applied for that, and I applied for a couple of others. So happy to do the legwork. Please send them over. 7:47. Anyone else? Or else, I am happy to give you all your evenings back. Motion to adjourn. I don't know that we have to actually do this, but is there one? Besides Chad, who's applauding, so he's number 1. Can I get a number 2?
Number 2, I say.
Thank you,
Motion to
Scott.
adjourn.
And we're good. if anything comes up, seriously, email us, call me, do whatever. We are here.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Have
you.
a great night.
How do I stop the recording? Or did you already do it?